Welcome, everyone, to a very special Doctor Who event. I am Terri Schwartz from IGN, and I'm so excited to be moderating this Whovian dream come true. We all know that Doctor Who is loved across the world by millions of fans in over 67 countries. And for a series that's been running for over 56 years and won over 100 awards, it's hard to find something new to surprise you with. But we tried anyway. So, to celebrate all of Doctor Who being available to stream on HBO Max, we have brought together, for the first time ever, three of our most beloved doctors, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Jodie Whittaker, for a very special reunion. Welcome, you three.
Thanks very much.
It's so lovely to see you. We're all just casual hang, just just dialing in for a voice chat. But this is your first time being here together to promote Doctor Who. So, what is it like to be having this event happen?
It's a bit fiddly because it's technology based. I wish it was kind of like more of a high five and a hug scenario, but it is a pleasure for people other than the people I live with. So it's absolutely true. It's almost like a social night out.
Yeah, it'd be more fun if we were actually together right now. I would enjoy that enormously. But it's nice to see some faces in cyberspace.
It's very stressful technology. It just which I shouldn't really say that as a former doctor, but I find it very unnerving on all counts.
Well, I just consider this an IOU then, that we'll all get to come back together in a year or two, right, when we all can spend time together and do this in person. But, you guys, it feels like you join an elite club when you become a doctor. Jodie, it was so exciting to get to introduce you to the world a couple years ago. I know you were talking about a lot of the responses and texts you got from people like David and Matt, but do you guys get a chance to talk at all together often as doctors? Is there like a Doctor Who text thread or something that we all should be very jealous we aren't a part of?
I'm not in it.
I'm just worried I'm not on it. And there is.
I'm definitely not on it.
No. So we try to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be admin. Why don't you be admin?
Oh, don't make me admin. Sylvester McCoy's definitely admin.
I wanna believe that we have dreamed this to life here. But getting a little bit more serious, it's been really fun to get to have all the seasons together in one place, get a new audience that's going to be introduced to them through being able to stream on HBO Max. And I'm curious, getting a chance to look back at the series thus far, what is a way that's being the Doctor has changed your life or impacted your life in a way that you might not have expected before you took the role?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's what you expect and there's what it actually feels like, I suppose. I mean, I think growing up in Britain, you're very aware that Doctor Who has been ubiquitous for all of our lives. Even when it wasn't on TV, it was still one of those sort of cultural things that was just kind of around in a way that I think that's sort of spread around the world now. But certainly when I was young, Doctor Who was just one of those things that was there. So when you realise it's your turn, you're getting a go at it, you do kind of know what that means in terms of a sort of certain loss of anonymity and a fact that the first line of your obituary has almost certainly been written. But I think that's different to knowing what it feels like to kind of suddenly be carrying that around. It's a huge privilege and also feels very precious because people love it so much and it means so much to people all through their lives that to be the custodian of that for a while, you just don't want to break it. You just want to make sure that it remains as special and precious and as exciting for the next generation as it did to yours, I guess.
I once had someone shout when I was walking down the street and I hadn't shot a single frame, "Don't break Doctor Who!"
Yeah.
Do you know what? When I was announced, like obviously, and you haven't shot anything, have you? I got a girl in a cafe and I was so excited because I was like, here's my demographic. She was like 16 and she went, I really wanted Ben Whishaw. I was like,
Everyone wants Ben Whishaw.
Yeah. He would have been great, Jodie. He would have been really good.
I'm curious, it's funny, there are terms like timey-wimey that I have just incorporated into my everyday life that, there are these iconic phrases over the years from Doctor Who that take on a life of their own. For each of you, is there one quote that you find gets said to you or quoted to you when people see you more than any other?
Yeah, people say Geronimo to me a lot.
Yeah.
Geronimo, back to you, old fruit, I say, and then, yeah.
Do you? Is that your standard?
Yeah, but that's what's so nice about it, isn't it? That generally Doctor Who fans are sort of really sort of just welcoming and lovely and quite enthusiastic, and they're not booing you. They're not sort of booing you in this movie.
It's true. It's a very nice show to be associated with because people feel fondly towards it. Even if they're not a fan of it, they tend to feel fondly towards it as a sort of, because it's unusual, I suppose, and it has so much kind of history and love attached to it that you get to bask in the reflected glory of that for a while.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, you're not my favourite, but I really like it.
Yeah.
How often do you get that? That would not, if I saw one, it's like someone.
You get things like, you're definitely in my top 5.
Oh. Well, kind of, I guess, transitioning from that, each of you have been a generation of fans' point of entry into Doctor Who, right? Like you've had an iconic run, and there has been a new group of fans who have followed you into the show and then gone back and watched the entire run through that. So I'm curious, once you have become the Doctor, knowing that someone else eventually will play the character, what is your kind of sense of ownership with the role, both while you have it and then for those of you who have left the show, like looking back on what your time has been?
I think it's because I've never, like, I haven't handed on, so I'm still in that strange kind of flirting space where I own it. And like, I mean, I'm not kicked out of the club yet, but I think for me, what feels, I suppose, the thing that I would say to the next person is that the pressure of the history of the show is totally made up in your own head. On set, all the crew that have transitioned, or they're kind of excited and with you to bring something new, because that is the beauty of this as a role, is that you're not supposed to be recreating what someone did. You're supposed to take it, but you don't. There's a lot of pressure and the kind of actor inner monologue that is there for a long time. But once, I suppose, you're in your costume and you are in your own doctor's clothes and you've got your own friends in it, it feels you in a weird way, all that pressure disappears because it's yours to play with.
How about for you, Matt and David? What is your relationship like with the character now that there have been other people who have taken on the mantle of the Doctor since?
You always know that's coming because you know what you're getting into, don't you? But there is still that weird bit, because like Jodie says, when you're in it, you're like, yeah, this is it. It's my TARDIS. It is quite weird that it carries on without you. That you can, and I was there on Matt's first day, and of course you're there and you're kind of and then Matt shows up and we sort of stay around, we have a photograph taken, and then I just walk off and they're all like, right, next, and then the cameras swing round to the next one. And there is something about like, I think for a second I felt indispensable, but and I think that's but then that's how that show works. And very quickly you just kind of you just get you become part of the history of it, and that's something to be very proud of, I think.
I've got that picture, David, and I gave it to my granddad, and I just look really, you're smiling at me as if to say, you've got no idea. And I look like I've killed myself or something. I just look so nervous. The thing I miss, the one thing, I think we've talked about it, David, before, like the one thing I miss is the Christmas special.
Yes.
On Christmas. That's just fantastic, and it's always such a great story. But it's a great thing to pass on, isn't it? It's a great sort of gift to go. Good luck.
Yeah.
Be good, but not too good.
Yeah. Do well-ish. Yeah. But it never. And also the truth is, it never goes away. I mean, it's 15 years since I did it, and I'm here today. It never goes away.
You're a part of the history, right? There's always an opportunity by virtue of it being Doctor Who that there are ways to layer everything back in together. Even having Captain Jack come back this past season, right? You know, someone who hasn't been on the show in so long. It's very special in that way that I feel like you can keep rewarding people's love of the history of the show, and it can build on itself while you also can create something new with each Doctor or each season or each adventure you go on with the character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can take it. It's got that kind of format that can take endless invention and and nothing's wrong. You know, nothing sort of, if the writing's good, it just adds to the texture of this extraordinary world.
Yeah.
Universe.
No, I was looking to make sure that I hadn't missed any big Doctor Who news, in prep for this chance to talk to you all. And you know, interestingly enough, one of the biggest news stories that's come out of the past few weeks is that, David, fans are geeking out about spotting a TARDIS in your garden in your new show, Staged. People were very excited about that. How many Doctor Who Easter eggs do you have around your house, just casually?
I mean, that's probably it. It was, and it's not a real one. We didn't like nick it off the set or anything. It's not like Stephen Moffat. You go to his house, it's full of actual stuff, actual booty, like real TARDISes and real weeping angels and things. That's one my kids' step granddad made, because my kids got very into it briefly, and then they moved on, like the fickle heartbreakers that they are. So while they were into it, they got a TARDIS built for them, which is now just over there in our back garden. Yeah.
Now, Jodie, I assume that you're in your TARDIS right now. That's the backdrop that we see, right?
I've colour coordinated here. I've got.
Yeah.
I know, it's quite. Now I tell you, I've got like. I've got quite a few Funko Pops. I think I was supposed to sign them and hand them on, but I think they're quite cute, so I just kept them. But it is a bit weird, like, oh, a toy of me. Slightly borders on narcissism, I think.
Yeah.
I've got two Cybermen there. Can you see? Can you see that?
Amazing.
What have you got?
Oh, on the
Up at
top of the bed.
Yeah. Can you see them? Proper, like, real ones. Actual, not like trendy ones.
They got
That's
property
incredible.
stamps on the back.
It was a parting gift, actually.
Oh, that's nice.
Are the Cybermen your favorite Doctor Who villains? Do you have any particular affection for this?
But I do like them.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I mean, David, you got to write Stephen back and say, come on, you got to get me the real stuff now. Matt has real Cybermen in his house.
No, I'm quietly furious now.
So I wanted to pull some fan questions because I had the opportunity to have the three of you together. So these are kind of rapid fire ones. If you don't have an answer, we can move on to the next one. But with that setup, if you had to choose one episode from your run as the Doctor to define that specific iteration of the character, which would you choose? Jodie, I'll go with you first because you've had the most recent episodes to pull from.
Yeah, I've got less to choose from, but I'd say I still always feel that it's my first episode. I think it's an incredible way to jump into this adventure for me personally. Like, the way the character enters through the train, but also continues in Peter's Doctor costume throughout, and then not until the end does, I suppose, like my Doctor arrive. And in that, we've met the family as well, and I feel like emotionally that's the episode for me that is at this point the most special as well.
Matt, how about for you?
I would say, again, probably the first one, the 11th hour, just because I sort of remember the weird pressure of filming it and my sense of memory when I watch it. You know, I was what we achieved, me and Karen and Arthur, and the sort of just the anxiety of doing it, but actually, and I thought it was a wonderful way to meet a companion. And I just, you know, I have very happy memories of that particular time on set.
How about you, David?
I really have a sort of, I feel it's like it's wrong to choose ones out because I have such vivid memories. It's unlike doing any other type of series where one episode sort of bleeds into another, because every Doctor Who story is so specific and different, with a different cast and a different set and a different world. I feel quite disloyal if I choose any as a favorite or as a preferred one. So I kind of have an instinctive aversion to doing it, really.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good answer. Another tricky one. So you all obviously have a lot of affection for your own companions, but if you could work with one companion of a fellow Doctor, who would it be and why? Who wants to take that
Rose,
one?
because it's Billy and she's my best pal, and it'd be great to work with Billy, and I love her. So Rose Tyler for me.
I'd say Rory for the same reason as I've worked with Darvill, and he makes me laugh so much that I just think, because you know what, we know how long the hours and the days are and the months, so it's like it's got to be a laugh, guys. It's got to be a laugh.
Oh man, that's tricky, isn't it?
I can highly recommend three.
I would choose Nicholas Courtney, who was the Brigadier, only because I was meant to do a story with him. The very last thing I did in Doctor Who was actually an episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures, which with Sarah Jane, who was the companion I'd grown up with, but I already worked with her. And Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier was going to be in it too. And at the last minute, he was too ill to come and be part of it. And it was not long before he unfortunately passed away. And I still feel very sad that never happened. So he would be mine, I think.
And also, if you could bring any character back on the show, who would it be and why?
Ever.
And have them reappear in some way.
So I can answer.
Go on.
Perfect.
Well, I'd say Grace O'Brien is played by Sharon D. Clarke, because she's absolutely incredible, and also the fact that she was snatched away too soon, really emotional, and but yeah, and I feel like that's someone that's a character the Doctor didn't get to spend enough time with.
I'd bring back William Hartnell, who played the first Doctor in 1963, and I'd bring him back and go, look at this, look, still going, still going. We're all still here. Is he here? See what he made of that.
I'd bring back, I can't remember her name, David. Who did Lindsay Duncan play in the Mars episode? Adelaide, because I love Lindsay Duncan, and she's I just think she's best.
That episode is so good.
Yeah. So I'd probably bring her back.
Now, I know we're running out of time, so I do want to wrap things up kind of with a forward-looking question. As we mentioned, Doctor Who is going to reach a whole new generation, watching it potentially for the first time through it being available on HBO Max. So for the rare person who might be watching it for the first time now, what do you hope those new viewers will take away from Doctor Who?
What a treat to never have seen Doctor Who and get to watch it now. What a treat. I'd love that. I'd love to come across it for the first time ever.
Yeah. You need to book off about a month of your life, because you're going to get back and then go in, and then it becomes your friend, and then you start watching it and you get hooked up in all these different theories, and it's just, good luck.
Yeah, and like obviously in real time you've got to wait to see who's announced as the next Doctor, and the kind of fan anxiety that's around that. Whereas with this, it's like just there. I mean, it's a matter of seconds from click to click to be able to jump between. So yeah, I think it's endless adventures, really.
I know.
HBO Max.
It's been announced that Doctor Who will be back on BBC America with a holiday special. So I do want to know, Jodie, is there anything you can tease us about that?
No. But I think I'm allowed to say what it's called. I'm just going to check. I'm allowed. I'm going to say it anyway. It was either do not say or do say. But
say it.
It's called The Revolution of the Dalek.
I can't believe you said it, Jodie. I can't believe you told everyone.
That might give a hint. I mean, there may be. There's a bit of a hint in it, but that's all I can say. Or it said, "Don't say it." Right there.
Revolutionary War. That's the hint, right? That's
No,
the
Revolution of the Dalek.
No, I know.
Oh, okay. Or like,
You're like, no, the Daleks.
Revolution of the. Yeah, so that's all I can tell you.
All right, well, thank you all so much for being here. Doctor Who is available to stream exclusively on HBO Max, and the future season and special will premiere on BBC America. Thanks, guys.